How do you make a custom printed pickguard for your guitar? Hey everybody, Jace Allen here. Welcome back to the channel. So I was on Brian's channel searching for tone the one day, and he does this live thing. I think it's on Wednesdays. And another fellow YouTuber that has the YouTube channel, Tone Yeager, his name's Brant, and he was asking somebody in the chat on the side of the live stream if they knew where they could get a custom pickguard, custom printed, like a design printed on a pickguard. Well, I just happened to be in the sign graphics business. That's the small business that my wife and I own. We mostly do municipal vehicles, police cars, ambulances, things like that. I do some of the big scale vinyl wraps that you see. I don't like to do that very much though, because it's really complicated. It's a lot of work, but it's kind of rewarding. It's really neat to see something that big done, you know. So this project was kind of a piece of cake. So I said, hey, I know how to do that, and I offered to donate my labor and materials if he sent me the pickguard, because I think he's doing it for a school giveaway. I think he's giving away a guitar to a local school or something like that. And so he sent me the pickguard. So basically what I do is I put the pickguard in my document scanner because it fit, and then that way you get an actual one-to-one you know, copy of the pickguard. Everything's to scale. And then when I import it into my, it's like a sign making program. It's similar to like Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator or something like that, but it's specifically designed for the sign industry. And so when you create a new document in the sign program and you drop this scan in there, it's the correct size. It's, you know, it's scaled. It's you know, an accurate size. So I drop the pickguard in there, orient it the way I want it to, and then pull in his design. So you'll see I'm just kind of, you know, adjusting the pickguard so it's kind of the way I want it, and then his design is this sort of wolf howling at the blue moon or whatever, or a coyote or something, I don't know. It's for like a school mascot type thing. And so I had already done a layout with a pickguard on Photoshop with his design. And so I take that design, scale it, superimpose it over top of the scan that I did of the pickguard so that everything fits. And then I pull in his design, you know, just the design by itself, and do a vector trace of that design. I'm not sure how to explain that, but it basically turns a photo image, bitmapped image, into vectors so that you can isolate the colors and you can manipulate the lines and everything, more similar to what Illustrator does. And so let's see, I think I speed this up a little bit here. And so basically it line traces everything, and then I go in and clean up the lines, because they're, you know, the line trace is usually not the greatest. And so you make those lines, and then that way, if I ever wanted to cut this thing out of just different colors of vinyl, you can do that too. That's what the wire frame is for, so that the vinyl cutter would trace those lines. But I ended up printing this one so it covered the whole pickguard, so it looked like it was right on the pickguard. So there was no edges of vinyl or seams or anything. So this is just more of getting the design set up. And then laying it all out on the pickguard so that everything's to scale again. So basically just kind of superimposing the actual design over the sort of the mock-up of the design. And then now everything's to scale. So I just put a line around it that the cutter is going to cut so that there's a little bit of extra so it overlaps the edges of the pickguard. That way you can trim off the extra. And then I pull it into, save it, you know, and pull it into the sign making or the printer program that it's called rip print. So it rips the design. It's like rendering the design, and then you print it on wide format self-adhesive vinyl. And it's an exterior gray. This is the same stuff we put on vehicles. And then the printer prints it. And I did 4 of them just so I'd have extra, and gave him extra ones in case he wanted to make some more. So then you can see the little registration bar there. That's for the cutter, so that the cutter knows where to cut. And then I laminate it too. I laminate it with a real thin clear gloss laminate that protects it from UV and scratches and whatnot. You can actually take a hairdryer or heat gun to any scratches that you get in the clear coat, and it kind of fades them out. And usually get 5 to 7 year lifespan out of a vehicle wrap, depending on its exposure to the sun. So something like this printed on a guitar, Pickguard, it'll pretty much last indefinitely. And then it's cut out basically a rectangle around the design, and then you can see I'm sort of weeding out the excess material there. And that's my shop. That's where I work every day. Almost every day. I take a couple days off since I've been doing YouTube to try to build up my YouTube channel and maybe transition to doing this part-time or full-time even, maybe someday. So I'm just kind of looking at them, make sure they're printed good, make sure there's no flaws or anything in it, and cut them apart. And then what I do here is I'm taking it's like a water-based pencil. You can wipe it off, and I trace around, lay the Pickguard over top of the design, trace around it, so then I can flip it over, lay it on, get it centered the way I want it. And then I tape the vinyl down to the Pickguard, create kind of like a hinge, we call it. And then you can squeegee down 1/2 of the sticker at a time. You just cut that backing paper and then squeegee it down onto the Pickguard. And then just go through and make sure you press down on all the edges where those screw holes are, and the pickup holes, and the control knob holes and all that stuff. And then I'll go through with a sharp knife, real sharp X-Acto knife, and trim to the edge of that beveled edge on the Pickguard. So I just trim through all those little holes, all the pickup cavities, all that stuff, so that it's the edges are nice and clean. And then that way, when Brant goes to put it on the guitar, just sets right on, doesn't have to worry about trimming any holes. And then make sure the edges are pressed down good. And there it is. Got a finished Pickguard with a printed design that'll pretty much last forever. And so yeah, there you go. So again, that's something I do just about every day. Not for guitars. I've wrapped a couple guitars, but Pickguards are way easier than wrapping a whole guitar. But yeah, so that's just something I wanted to show everybody. Brant's gonna, I think, talk about this on his channel as well. If you haven't checked out Tone Yeager, check out his channel. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber, just like many of us, and he's doing some good stuff over there. And so give his channel a look. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Jace Allen Guitar.